If you have $500 to spend on a new gaming PC build, you can actually get great performance not only for 1080p resolution but also for 1440p. I will also show you the estimated FPS average, that way you can see the estimated performance at 1440p and at 1080p of this $500 PC build. So if you're a beginner, don't worry, because everything will be explained as simple as possible. You will have the links to all of the components down below in the video description. That being said, let's start. For the CPU, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5500. This is a 6-core processor that's going for $100. So in my opinion, really good performance for the price. And it's going to be a great pair with the GPU I'm going to mention in a little bit. The CPU cooler is going to be the stock cooler from AMD, since it's going to do an amazing job with this Ryzen 5. Then for the motherboard, we have the Asus Prime B450M Micro ATX motherboard. This is nothing too crazy, it's just $80 and it's not the best motherboard by any means, but remember, we are working with a really tight budget in 500 USD and it is going to get the job done anyway. Then for the memory kit, we have a 2x8 kit. This is 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, really cheap, and it's going to be enough for gaming. For the storage, we have a 1TB Gen 4 SSD that is not going to run as a Gen 4, but it is going to run as a Gen 3, which is more than enough for gaming, and also 1TB is a great point to get started. Then for the graphics card, here we have two options. The first one being from the used market, and this one is going to give you the best FPS and it's also the cheaper option, but at the same time, if you want to buy from the used market, it is going to give you a newer architecture and the performance is going to be similar. But first, let's talk about the used one, and the one I recommend buying if you have $500 for this whole system, and it's the GTX 1080 Ti. This one is a 2017 GPU and is still relevant today. It's going to give you an amazing performance for the price of $150 on average on eBay, and it has 11 gigs of VRAM, which is going to make it better for 1440p resolution as well. It performs really similar to the RX 6600 XT, but it has more VRAM, therefore it's going to be better at 1440p. Well, it's actually a bit faster than the RX 6600 XT, so if you want to see the estimated performance on a 12 game average, the 6600 XT was able to manage 128 FPS on average, which is a really nice number considering you are spending $500 for this whole system. And remember, the 1080 Ti is slightly faster than the 6600 XT, so you can expect slightly better numbers. And then at 1440p on that same 12 game average on high to ultra settings, the 6600 XT was able to average 87 FPS, so we can safely say that the GTX 1080 Ti is going to give you really decent performance at 1440p high to ultra settings depending on the title, and even better for 1080p resolution in case you have a 1080p monitor or you are not thinking of going for a 1440p one. And if you play esports titles, you will be able to achieve more than 140 FPS at 1080p in games like Valorant, CSGO or Fortnite, and at 1440p you can expect around the same numbers. So if you want a 1080p 144Hz monitor or a 1440p 144Hz monitor as well, you can buy one. So now the other option is the Intel Arc A750, going for around $220. That one is about 5% slower than the 1080 Ti, so really about the same performance, so not really a big difference in terms of performance, but it is from a newer architecture and also is not from the used market, but it has 8 gigs of VRAM instead of 11, so at 1440p, if you want to run the latest AAA titles, you will have to lower down the graphics settings for better image quality. But for the most part, the Intel Arc A750 is going to run decent at 1440p as well, and at 1080p is going to be a really solid option. But if you buy this GPU instead of the 1080 Ti, the total price for this whole system is going to be around $570, so it's quite more expensive. But if you do not want to buy from the used market, this is the GPU I would buy for 1440p 60 plus FPS on average, or 1080p 100 plus FPS. If you want to buy everything brand new and stay at a $500 mark, the performance, trust me, is going to be much worse. Then for the case, we have the DIY PC ARGB Q01 Micro ATX mini tower case. I think this one looks amazing, honestly. It has 3 pre-installed fans, and in my opinion, aesthetics are not really that important, but this case, for the price that you're paying, is a beautiful option. And last but not least, the power supply, we have the Apivia Prestige 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. This one is a C tier rated unit and it's going to be enough for both of our GPUs, the 1080 Ti or the Intel Arc A750. So great power supply overall for just $52. Now, if you have more money to spend than $500, then I highly recommend you watching my video on the best gaming PC builds for this month in the top right of the screen. There you will have PCs for every budget and every resolution, so you might want to check that out if you're interested on a new PC build. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.